Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Carlos Alcaraz has won the last 2 Grand Slam titles at the French Open on the clay and at Wimbledon earlier this summer. He enters as the favorite.
You have a bunch of depth there. Francis Tiafoe, Ben Shelton, they will likely play in round 3. The winner would play Djokovic most likely, which would be an incredible match. I like Ben Shelton as a sleeper. If Djokovic is hurt, you never know. I think Shelton's actually the guy that gets hot. The conditions favor him.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With 2 former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
Welcome back, everybody. Hour 1, Greg Colby, Dance. Hey, Merrill. Good times, George. And yeah, Team Lime, we're having a good time here tonight. George is happy. Kansas City, the Royals with cheese almost stole George's lunch, but he got it back late. Very good, George. Happy for you. Now you can go celebrate before the family comes home and takes over the house again, and you're back in the yard building things and doing things that you don't want to do. But maybe more chicken parms instead of microwave dinners when your wife, who's a great cook, will come back in the house and you'll have some quality Filipino eats. Very good.
Actually, Dave sending me, I think last night or the night before that was Filipino night at the at Chavez Ravine. So he's sending me pictures of Filipino stuff, food they're making. I saw a couple of them. You know, those little egg roll things. We call them Shanghais. I don't know what their real name is. And the purple dessert, the purple cake.
Oh yeah, ice moon cake. Is that moon cake?
Yeah, whatever it's called.
What they call
I don't know what it's called. It's fine cake. They had vanilla ice cream on top. Actually, it's pretty damn good. I would definitely have that.
Yeah, my Filipino neighbor, when I was going for my walk, my daily morning walk, was rocking Axl Rose and Guns N' Roses in the garage with his buddies. He went hard today. Usually he starts it off really soft with the Filipino crooners, but he hit the classic rock button today. It was very enjoyable and invited me over for a beverage. So, you know what? I'll tell you guys something. You want a PSA? A Filipino neighbor is the best neighbor. They invite you to their barbecues. They sing karaoke. And I got to honestly, I've never seen the guy pissed off. Like, I've never seen him not smile. Great disposition. I wish I had friends like that. George, so good things on the diamond. Anything else that we're talking about right now? Like, just from baseball that you're looking at, what about Atlanta? That's what I want to talk to you about. This is a team, we mentioned it quickly with Steve. Like, everyone's talking Dodgers, Philadelphia, but Atlanta slowly is getting back in the mix, and those bats are heating up, George, and that's bad news for everybody in the National League.
It's been impressive, right? Because I mean, this team has been, you want to call them, you know, the snake bit, snipers, whatever. So many injuries. Voodoo doll, right? You start with Spencer Strider, then Ronald Acuna. All right, then we're going to take Ozzie Albies away. Oh, how about Austin Riley? He's gone too. It's just injury after injury after injury. And Cam, if we were placing odds in March and all the injuries Atlanta have right now, what were the odds of Chris Sale not being one of them? Right?
Exactly. Great call.
Save the team. He's probably, right now, I think, as of August 30th, he's just Cy Young Award winner in the National League. Certainly the guy I'd be, I would assume is the favorite here. Just he said it's been great. It's been absolutely great. I really thought that once Riley got hurt, all right, that's it. That's the last straw. They're just too much now. But hey, they've got a 5-game lead. It looks like here. I'm sorry, not a 5-game lead. They're 5 back of Philadelphia after winning tonight. Their wild card, they're back in the lead with a somewhat comfortable lead, 3 games over the Mets. It's not over by any means here, but I sort of thought maybe by September 1st they'd be out of a playoff spot. So I think they will squeak in now. I didn't think that 2 weeks ago. I don't know how dangerous they can be in the playoffs, but as you and I both know, baseball playoffs, short series, you get Chris Sale going twice, it just may not matter.
No, you're right. Well, we got an update in the football game. TCU's driving, but our boy, me and Colby, Stanford, the 8-point dog before bet down to 7.5, winning right now 7-0, 1 minute and 22 seconds in running, but TCU's got the ball. They're minus 5.5 live, and Stanford's plus 5.5, so they're very close to punching it in right now, but I do have a piece of Stanford on the money line. That would be fantastic. George, another team, we haven't talked about this team. How does Milwaukee do it, and what do you think? Is basically go to the playoffs and falter, or can they actually catch magic in a bottle? Like every year there's a team. Like Cleveland seems to overachieve. Milwaukee's like the Cleveland of the National League. How are these guys doing it, and are they one and done, or do you think they can actually do some damage?
Well, to answer your first question, I don't know how they do it. I have no idea. All right, none. All right,
exactly.
They do play in a weaker division, right? St. Louis, Chicago, Cincinnati. I haven't taken on Cincinnati. That's not coming through. They were really disappointed this year. So that helps. But they traded Corbin Burns in spring training, right? They lost Brandon Woodward for the year. I wrote them off. I thought they'll finish 4th, 5th, somewhere around there. And remember, they've also done this without Christian Yelich for the last month. Yelich was never going to win MVP. That's going to be Ohtani. And I guess maybe Lindor, depending on what happens in September. But you get my point. It was never going to be Yelich, but he was there. Right? He was there as a top 3, top 5 guy here. And they lost him a month ago. He's not coming back with the back surgery there. So I think Milwaukee deserves a lot of credit. But to answer your second question, who do you see them playing in the playoffs, Canada, they can beat? Right? I agree with Steve Merrill. I think Philadelphia is your number 1 team. If the Dodgers are anywhere near healthy, they're probably number 2. Is Milwaukee 3? I might like Arizona over Milwaukee, right? I might like San Diego over Milwaukee. I would probably
I like San Diego.
Mets. I like San Diego a lot. I think I do. They have a lot of they've got Tatis back too.
George, I'm going to say something crazy. I think the Mets have a better chance to go deep if they get into the playoffs than Milwaukee. Am I nuts?
Not with that pitching staff. Not with that staff. Come on, that's a lot of hope on that staff. I know Manaea is pitching well now and great X-Pods.
But look at Lindor. And I'm just saying, Milwaukee's doing it with smoke and mirrors. I'm just saying, if you're going to look for a true underdog with a bigger number, I would go with the Mets over Milwaukee. I don't think either of them are going to do it. That's just my opinion.
I wouldn't argue with you. You want to go Mets over Milwaukee, you get a much better price, right?
Look at the difference. Look at the difference. 9 plus 950, 48. To me, they're the same damn team because you're one of the guys at the top's going to win. George, we have an update here. We talked about it. George mentioned they took Kershaw out early. I'm on the Diamondbacks tonight, George. It's now 5-5. The Diamondbacks were down. What were they down? 5-1? Was it 5-1 or 5-2? Anyway, it's 5-5 now. Live line, Dodgers minus 130, Snakes plus 110. Total 15.5, George. Anything live in Dodgers D-backs?
Yeah, I was not on the over anyway, not pregame. Kershaw got lit up. He didn't pitch well. Pitched 27 pitches, 3 runs, and he left with the lead. Here's why. I knew there had to be an injury here. So another problem for the Dodgers. Kershaw left the game with big toe pain, whatever the hell that means. All right, I'm just reading it here. Big toe pain, according to Alex Weiner of ArizonaSports.com. Like I say, this is another problem, another pitcher that might be down for them. And you and I talked about it the other day with Gabe, right? I think on Wednesday night show. You got Yamamoto. All right, maybe mid-September, you don't know what he's going to bring. I mentioned earlier, a curious sentiment that now the Dodgers hope that Glasnow can pitch by the end of the season. What happened here? It was some kind of setback that we did not see coming. But then again, Glasnow's always hurt. Now you might lose Kershaw as well. What? Bueller's not Bueller, right? He's not that guy. Maybe he's an off-season. Maybe he'll be that guy. But damn, Glasnow, Yamamoto, Kershaw, Bueller. That's a lot to ask for. To ask Flaherty and Stone. They better hope at least 2 of those guys come back healthy and can pitch. And I just don't know. And how far can their offense? How far can Ohtani bail them out? And Betts and Freeman. Those guys might have to be lights out. And generally in October, pitching takes over, right? It's a pitcher's playoff, not hitters.
Football update. If you like Western Michigan, they were getting 23.5, 24. They're only down 13-7 to Wisconsin right now, total 35.5. We're in the third quarter there. And TCU did score 7-7 TCU and Stanford. End of the first quarter, live line. TCU minus 6.5 total, 61.5. They're expecting points. Tennis, we talked about this too. Djokovic is fired back, but now Popyrin has come back again. This is unbelievable. This is a straight pick 'em right now. Popyrin's up 2-1. Actually, Djokovic now minus 113. Popyrin minus 108. Total 45.5. I would look at the over in this tennis match. This kid's not going away. And I watched the other match before. Djokovic had an injury, but grinded through in his last win. It was not easy. It was not pretty. And Father Time waits for nobody. Watch out for Alexei Popyrin. This guy is actually a very, very underrated player. I'm not going to take him now at that price because I need a little bit more because the Joker, obviously the best player in the world. But we are on upset alert. It happened to Alcaraz, and it can happen to the number one player in Djokovic as well. These guys are battling hard. Updated baseball board, we talked about it. Dodgers, D-backs tied at 5. Mariners still up. Hope you got the over in these late games. 7-4 for the Mariners. They're laying 3.5, total 14.5 in that game. And George, I have a parlay with Seattle, Arizona plus 1.5, and the Giants. Scoreless with the Marlins. Giants minus 294, total 4.5. Keep digging, no runs. I like the under.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Carlos Alcaraz has won the last 2 Grand Slam titles at the French Open on the clay and at Wimbledon earlier this summer. He enters as the favorite.
You have a bunch of depth there. Francis Tiafoe, Ben Shelton. They will likely play in round 3. The winner would play Djokovic, most likely, which would be an incredible match. I like Ben Shelton as a sleeper. If Djokovic is hurt, you never know. I think Shelton could actually be the guy that gets hot. The conditions favor him.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With 2 former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
Welcome back. Been a lot of fun tonight on the show, George. We got a few games, and wish we had more baseball too, because I like to get George going and kind of like, hey, George, let's bet more. But I don't know what the hell's going on here. If I lose, like right now, things are kind of good for me. Like Dodgers D-backs 5-5, so that's good. If you got the dog there and the plus 1.5, Mariners were up even bigger. Looks like the Angels are trying to do something here, George. They got a leadoff double down 7-3. I need Seattle. I'm not sure if you're on them. And these totals are nuts. Both Dodgers D-backs 14.5, Seattle Angels 14.5, and this one's the best. Marlins Giants 4.5. So 10 less, George, 10 less. Any opinions on these games? I'm on the Giants in a parlay. I don't lay juice. And when I saw Scott Wetzel's dark cloud of the night was Giants -1.5, I almost cut my own mic because that black cloud is a very, very dangerous storm system. When I saw that, I was like, yikes.
Yeah, I'm already on. I'm on the Mariners, but I was also on the under, so that's going to be a split here. In-game over, Dodgers Diamondbacks is 15.5. We're 5-5 here. Freeman just struck out. We're going to the bottom of the fourth.
I kind of liked it. What do you think?
I kind of liked it as well. 6 runs in pretty much 6 innings. We need to run an inning. 4, 5, 6, 7. We only need to run an inning here. So I think we're getting plus money on that. I'm going to go in on that. I'm going to take the in-game over 15.5. So we'll root for our 6 runs there. I think I'm going to go with the Diamondbacks as well. They're coming up. They're only -128. We're into the Dodgers bullpen already. I'm going to go the over +118. Give me the -128 on the Diamondbacks. I'm going to put that in. I'm already on San Fran under, so I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not laying 245 that they're going to win the game. You could talk me into that they can win by 2, though. I know it's the black cloud, but that's pregame. Does the black cloud stay during the game, by the way, or just a pregame black cloud? We need a ruling on that because we can get.
I think the black cloud. It starts off dangerous, lingers, gets more dangerous. I remember the night. I remember it's a lingering bad ball of energy. Let me tell you this, George. That night, I was on the White Sox, and I didn't bet them during that losing streak. And I saw Wetzel's dark cloud was I forget what game it was. Oakland. It was Oakland mine whatever. I'm and that was the one night, and the White Sox actually won and beat the streak. I'm like, this damn black cloud, it is so dangerous. When I see I always ask, I make Sherapan, give me that pick. I hope San Francisco wins. I don't have the -1.5, but you know what, George? It's very hard to lay 1.5 with San Francisco because sometimes they have power outages. They're just a weird team. They have problems getting there. So for them, winning by 2 is actually not an easy task a lot of the time. You would agree with that. It's weird. Some nights they just rake, and then there's 1 run, 0 runs, 0 runs, 2. Their offense reeks. Let's just call it out for what it is, George. You're a baseball guy.
Yeah, I mean, they sort of said when they traded Jorge Soler at the deadline that, hey, we were giving up here, and that was a big part of their offense, right? A lot of home runs. Ramos has been a godsend. Fitzgerald has been out of his mind.
Oh,
right? He's slowed down now, of course, but he's really saved his team as far as, he almost brought them back to contention. They're like, maybe they could get back in this thing. Then they seem to have saw a split again. Yeah, you never know where the offense is going to be. That's why I took the under tonight, especially because Miami really can't hit either, especially to keep Jake Berger. You keep Jake Berger down here, right? Xavier Edwards went on the IL. Was earlier this week or last week there. So, not a lot of offense to like here in San Fran. I still took I'm going to take a minus. It's plus money. All right. Hopefully that black cloud that gets, that the storm front moves away here, and we can get them to win by 2. That's good. Maybe I should take them to win. No, I'm not laying that price. No, I'll just take them to win
parlay
by 2.
Them. Can you parlay live? On one of my books, you can still do the parlay live, and the other ones you can't. But so. I can on one. Should get a book that does that. It's very, very key sometimes. It's the same one, George. And I think you were on when I told you the story. So I'm doing coast to coast, Carver's away with the kids. So me and Pharrell go on the show, and the Pirates have a 7-run lead against the Cubs that afternoon. He's on the Pirates. I'm on the Pirates. It was a disaster. They had a chance to get out of it with a double play ball. The guy misses the bat. After that, run, Cubs. So they go up. Anyway, you know the story, George. They lost 14-10. I'm on the Royals. They were up big too, and they were playing Cleveland. Bullpen came in. That party's over. Whack, whack, whack. Cleveland just came in and just smoked them, and it came back. So I'm flipping out. I got 2 books. So I'm thinking, oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing coast to coast. I'm doing this show for free because, I'm losing bets and this is stupid. And then I check one of my books. Both got graded as a win because they were up 4 runs. Can you, and now they only do it. Guys in Canada, you know who I'm talking about. Anyway, they're not sponsoring the show, but I'm going to say this. Hockey, George, money line, 3 goals. Baseball, it used to be 3 runs, it's 4. And it's one of those situations, actually, yeah. So if you get are you nuts? And people are like, oh, I care about juice. So You know what? How about turning a loser into a winner? And how many times have you seen in baseball where teams piss away 4 or 5 run, 6 run leads? It happens all the time. You can't put a price on that. Even in hockey now, you've seen it, George. What's a 3-0 lead? It's like nothing. Teams come back all the time. Who cares about juice? I want like a winning bet, and then you can come on the best thing is, George, they grade it, then you can come back on the other side. I got to get you involved.
As you said, though, juice is great. I want to win. Or I should say I don't want to lose is really what it comes down to. All right? I don't want to pay out money here. I'll take whatever I can get here. No, that's great. So, well, good for you. I have heard you and Gabe mention this before here about the automatic wins once you get to a certain remember during hockey season, that was 3 goals. I'm a little surprised in baseball a little higher than 4.
Yeah, I'll go through it again, George. For football, I think it might be 17 points. It used to be 2 touchdowns. I'm like, you nuts? Like when we first got on it, like it was 2 touchdowns. How many teams come back all the time? I think it's like 17 or 20 now. I'll do the research and come back to you. But George, just money line. So when you're playing like run lines in baseball, nah. So those get graded as a loss. So I don't mind laying a juice on a money line for those situations to happen. We'll go through it. Football update right now. We got Stanford and TCU still tied right now. And Wisconsin, they're having all they can handle from Western Michigan. 13-7 at the end of the 3rd quarter. Ooh, the Western Michigan Broncos from the MAC giving the Badgers all they can handle. We don't know no stinking Badgers. More after the break.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Carlos Alcaraz has won the last 2 Grand Slam titles at the French Open on the clay and at Wimbledon earlier this summer. He enters as the favorite.
You have a bunch of depth there. Francis Tiafoe, Ben Shelton, they will likely play in round 3. The winner would play Djokovic, most likely, which would be an incredible match. I like Ben Shelton as a sleeper. If Djokovic is hurt, you never know. I think Shelton could actually be the guy that gets hot. The conditions favor him.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With 2 former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
Welcome back, everybody. I'll tell you, George, we talk about it. Dogs, baseball, like when the White Sox beat, the Orioles, whatever. What is happening in tennis right now is unprecedented. Carlos Alcaraz lost to this Van Chop guy. I can't even, me and Gabe, remember Gabe doing his name last night? The guy's got 6 names. He's ranked 92nd, okay? I'll tell you, he was like a 17-1 dog at the start. It might have been a little bit less, but it was astronomical. And now tonight, Djokovic and Popyrin, We're going to bring in Julio. We're just talking off air. I took this guy's games, whatever, in the sprinkle. He is minus 300 versus Djokovic. So we could have Alcaraz and Djokovic at the U.S. Open, two of the biggest players, gone. That doesn't happen very often. This is nuts. And if it does, man, we got a crazy story going on. You dog bettors, if you blindly bet dogs in tennis, you're going to be losing your mind. You're going to be, you know what, George? Maybe they can, if they live on Long Island like you, they can get a Generac generator, one of the best in the business. So if any storms, you take care of it for $10,000. Big money. Julio, he joins us. Rosario. Hey, Julio, how was Jacksonville State, Coastal Carolina? Do you like the over, buddy? They're still scoring.
They're still scoring in that game. Always appreciative, Cam, George, good to be with you guys. And as we hit Labor Day weekend, take a cab, find a ride share, take a bus, call your mom if you have to, okay? Just don't drive drunk. That's my lone PSA of the evening.
I got to tell you
Jacksonville
something.
State, Coastal Carolina.
Yeah, sorry, Julio, just to say that. We didn't really talk about this at the start of the show. Me and George kind of mentioned it. And for all you guys out there, like George and I, we're real big hockey guys. Julio's a hockey guy. Gabe's a hockey guy here at the network. And what happened to Johnny Gaudreau and his brother, absolutely disgusting, just riding their bikes. The guy's gone at the age of 31, former Calgary Flame. My brother's kids got his jerseys. They met him multiple times. Great guy. George from the New Jersey area, I think, right? He grew up in New Jersey. Great hockey player for Team USA. One of my favorites. A great guy in the community. And it was his sister's, can you believe it? At his sister's wedding today. So Julio, shout out. Our hearts go out to the Gaudreaus and everybody in the hockey world. That is one of the saddest stories ever. 31 years old, one of the better players in the league with his brother, and they were going to his sister's wedding. Life's not fair, and this is absolute BS, man. This is one of the saddest things. When I read the story after SportsRage last night, I was tearing up. I couldn't believe it.
I heard the story this morning as I'm literally driving across the Florida-Georgia line, and I was stunned. I initially thought it was like a boating accident or like some type of like outdoor accident. My mind didn't think drunk driver. Devastating, man. My heart breaks for his kids, his parents, his sister, everyone involved. It's really, really heartbreaking. So again, folks, just think ahead.
Yep.
Don't be an idiot this Labor Day weekend.
A hotel could cost you $200-$300. Yeah, who's an idiot? Who's an idiot?
Exactly. Yeah, hotels can cost you $60. Really, you just need a place to sleep. It's all you need, and then you get home the next day safe. Speaking of idiots, Cam, look, the Coastal Carolina Jacksonville State game, great environment, but for Jacksonville, when you think of Rich Rodriguez offense, you think of a quarterback who can, if he could throw, beautiful. If he can run, even better. If he can't do both, then they're in some deep trouble. And that's what you saw last night. Quarterback play that was abysmal, turnovers early. You're spotting Coastal 17 points. I wasn't initially blown away by Coastal Carolina, but as the game progressed, I was just reminded of how well coached that team is. And when you're well coached, you can really win a lot of games in football. And Coastal Carolina, I mean, this is a team, season win total was 6.5 coming into last night. I think they can win 8 games, maybe 9. They're a very good team, a terrific offensive line. Their quarterback, what was his last name? I'll get it up here in just a second, but I'm very impressed with Coastal Carolina. On the downside for Jacksonville State, if you don't have a quarterback in Rich Rodriguez's offense who can throw or run, I mean, the defense is going to tire themselves out. Your skill players aren't going to do much. The quarterbacks for both quarterbacks for the Gamecocks were abysmal. So I don't really see them covering next week against Louisville, whatever the number is. I'm imagining double digits. But Rich Rodriguez has some fine-tuning to do here in Jacksonville.
Are you at the stadium, Julio? What the hell's going on there? Is that in your hotel room? Are they playing a game? Or holy geez, I don't know what's going on. Sounds like you're at the stadium. Where are you? A local tavern?
No, I can't find the remote, and this TV is damn loud. It's a joke of it.
Oh, turn it down. Well, yeah. We'll keep you on for one more segment, but that was wild stuff. I love you, Julio. Wow.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Carlos Alcaraz has won the last 2 Grand Slam titles at the French Open on the clay and at Wimbledon earlier this summer. He enters as the favorite.
You have a bunch of depth there. Francis Tiafoe, Ben Shelton. They will likely play in round 3. The winner would play Djokovic, most likely, which would be an incredible match. I like Ben Shelton as a sleeper. If Djokovic is hurt, you never know. I think Shelton's actually be the guy that gets hot. The conditions favor him.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circa Sports Million, Circa Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With 2 former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
Julio's the hardest working man in show business. He's doing Chicago State basketball. He travels to Laramie. He's going down to Alabama. That's what I like about you, Julio. Anytime, any place. Like a wrestler, that's where you show up. Anytime, any place, anybody. That's Julio. We got things going on right now. Is that a touchdown? Give it to me. Woo! Yes, the Cardinal. It's not, but their logo's a tree, not cheap, 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 like the bird, but a cardinal. But the Cards, Stanford Cardinals, have just taken a lead 13-7. Ooh, the dogs are barking, George. And I'll tell you another thing. What the hell is going on, Julio, in Western Michigan, Wisconsin? Western Michigan, me and Jack, shout out to producer Jack, they closed at 20, anywhere in your book, 23-24. How do you lay points with Wisconsin? These guys might lose outright. Western Michigan Broncos up 14-13. They're getting 2.5. Julio, it could be a dog night with the Cardinal and the Broncos.
A sight for potentially tomorrow, everybody. So start chasing those dogs. The numbers are already moving. Remember last year, Phil Longo's coming into Madison. Oh, the Badgers are going to run a spread offense.
Sure they are.
No shot. No shot. I mean, come on, Wisconsin pushes kegs. They push cows. They're not a run and done school. They never have been. And if you're going to make a big change like that, you're competing against Michigan and Ohio State in your own conference. Now Oregon, now UCLA, now USC. So I don't know what's going on. I mean, take the dogs, especially against these schools like Wisconsin. The hype. Oh, you're going to go to a spread offense. Well, they've never run a spread.
I agree. Basically, Wisconsin, they want to play in snow, sleet, rain, and turn it into like basically a punching, like just an all-out slobber knocker. They don't really have that program. No run and gun, no big offense. They just want to beat you down, like over time in a fight, like just wear you down. Kind of like like a cobra, what it does, or what anaconda, just squeeze, 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 and then you're eventually dead. Julio, tomorrow we got great games. Where would you like to start? I've talked to me and George. We've been talking to everybody, and we're usually start things off with Georgia and Clemson. I vary in opinion. Steve Merrill was thinking Georgia might be the play. A lot of public money on Clemson. Colby Dant on the show, big dog player. He likes the Clemson Tigers, thinks Georgia's offense is going to suffer with some of the losses. Where are you heading on this game? The lines moved down, too. People are betting Clemson.
I'm going to go over 10 points in the first quarter. Clemson and Georgia, Cam and George. That's where I'm going, and then we'll see where the chips fall as the day goes. But you know me, Cam, I like going through the bottom of the barrel. Boise State, it's hot in the South. I've been here for a week, and it is scorching hot. The Boise State Broncos are headed to Statesboro, Georgia, to take on Georgia Southern. Over 56.5, but I also like the over 13 in the first quarter. I think we get a lot of points in that game. Give me New Mexico, Sheriff Lobo. I know they lost, but they covered. They covered last week against Montana State. Give me New Mexico plus 30.5 against Arizona. Connecticut, this line moved since I last spoke with you, Cam, a couple of nights ago. It was like 21.5. It's now 19.5. I'd wait. If you want to play this game, wait for the in-game line potentially, but Connecticut is a dog I like against Maryland. Colorado State, it's moved up from 32 to 34, so give me the Rams plus 34. I think they're going to put up some points against Texas, so give me over 13.5 Colorado State's team total. I'm going to roll the dice. I think they're going to cover through the back door, so over 16.5 and over 20.5. Both are plus 225 and plus 650 respectively.
Hey, you know what, Julio? Before George will ask you about a game, I just got to mention something to bettors out there. The Dogs went 4-0 in the opening games. Are you seeing what's happening tonight? So Florida Atlantic, they lose by 6, cover. Elon even covered against Duke. We have Wisconsin as a 23.5-point favorite losing to Western Michigan, and Stanford getting 8 up 14-7, but that game's early. It's another dog day, Julio, but this has been wild start to the college season with all the movement. George, you got anything for Julio there? I'm not sure the Dogs are going to keep on covering all the time, but it's been a really nice start. What do you got, George?
Well, first off, we're going to show our age here. Julio mentioned Sheriff Lobo, and now I can't get the theme song out of my head. Thank you so
Sheriff
much.
Lobo. He's a friend.
That was a good show back in the day with Claude Akins and company there. He's still a little fun there. Julio, tomorrow, speaking of little steamy, little hot, Miami versus Florida. Miami's favored by 2.5. Over is 54.5. Where you looking?
Oh, God, I hate Mario Cristobal, but I think the Hurricanes minus 2.5 is the right number for me. So give me Miami in this Sunshine State duel tomorrow. It should be a good game. I think Miami just has more talent over Florida, which is hard to believe considering what Billy Napier has done over the last few years.
Yeah. Scott Farrell line too. Yeah, we were talking about the Hurricanes too. He loves that team, right? But God, they disappoint. Ever since the Catholic versus convicts era, Julio, they've been nothing but trash. I said, you know what I said earlier to George? Like wrestling, loser leaves town, loser leaves federation. The loser of Cristobal Napier should just say, I'm gone, or just be gone. You're out of the stadium and take up a job as a realtor or something like that, because you're not going to be coaching football anymore.
It's funny you say that. I'm here in Tallahassee and I'm driving around. I'm covering Florida A&M, but across town's Florida State, and I'm looking at the stadium thinking, well, who's going to be the Seminoles coach next year? Because I don't think Norvell. I don't think their head coach is going to stick around another year.
I agree. So Julio, out of the big games, I know you like the bottom feed like me, and I talked to Colby Dant. We like Hawaii in a bounce back spot, getting 14 against UCLA in one of my dumpster games. But in the big games that a lot of people bet, what are you thinking about a couple? I want to hear your opinion on West Virginia and Penn State. Great game, and then we'll talk about Texas A&M and Notre Dame, two heavyweights tomorrow.
Now, it's the first time since the mid-'90s the Nittany Lions traveling to Morgantown. The lines moved. It was 8.5, depending on some books. It's 7.5 now. I think West Virginia are live home dog. I'm going to take them on the money line. I took them at plus 250. It's plus 240 right now. I think West Virginia can win outright. At James Franklin in a big spot. I saw something from one of the data guys about Penn State as 6-point favorites and higher over the last X amount of years. But I just think West Virginia in this environment are going to be live tomorrow afternoon.
What about A&M and Notre Dame? A lot of people, I like A&M. Gabe likes A&M. Colby Dant likes A&M. I just think, I don't know your opinion, I just think it's an addition by subtraction with some of the coaching staff leaving and like guys who actually took small programs and built them into good programs. I think that's big for A&M, and they have a lot of blue chip prospects that Jimbo bought in. He just didn't do a good job. His staff was horrible.
It's going to be a crazy environment, right? Kyle Field on a Saturday night to start the season. I mean, that over 100,000 people are going to be at that game. I like Texas A&M. I mean, Notre Dame, they lost their offensive line, one of the best offensive linemen over the summer. I just think the Yankees will have enough as a 3-point favorite.
Wow. As you watch that tennis match you watching, Djokovic is now
5-3.
He's got it's 5-3. So is he grinding? So what's the live line right now? Okay, here we go. Poprin was minus 1,400. If you guys like Novak Djokovic, on my book, he's plus 445, and Poprin is minus 800. Total sets 38.5. I would take. I don't know, man. If you like Djokovic, you take the over 38.5. If you like the underdog, you take the under 38.5. But that juice is 38.5 minus 300. That does not calculate well. Well, Julio, where's the next stop on the tour, buddy? You did a great job with that game. You saw exciting football. Hope you had the over. I don't know if you're a broadcaster, you can't bet, but we'll keep that one low. That's only the guys on ESPN. I can't pick the game because I'm doing the game. Okay, Kurt Herbstreit, I know Julio. He'll bet it, do it. Who cares? Love you, brother. Good luck with the picks, but Julio, we'll talk to you real soon, man. Safe travels.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Carlos Alcaraz has won the last 2 Grand Slam titles at the French Open on the clay and at Wimbledon earlier this summer. He enters as the favorite.
You have a bunch of depth there. Francis Tiafoe, Ben Shelton. They will likely play in round 3. The winner would play Djokovic, most likely, which would be an incredible match. I like Ben Shelton as a sleeper. If Djokovic is hurt, you never know. I think Shelton's actually be the guy that gets hot. The conditions favor him.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circa Sports Million, Circa Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With 2 former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
Welcome back, everybody. Thanks to Julio for joining us. Yes, I didn't know what was going on there. I literally thought he was doing the show from a stadium or a bar, but I guess the tennis match was quite loud. And yeah, Djokovic is kind of grinding back, but this match has been wild, and it looks like it could go very deep. The Dodgers have just taken a lead. I see George 6-5. I got Arizona plus 1.5, but I have the money line too, so that's not great. Wild pitch. Gotta love the wild pitch. So right now the Dodgers Now, if you still like Arizona, there's a lot of baseball left. Plus 175 looks sweet and juicy to me. I think I'm going to have to put another log on the fire. We talked about the 14.5. It's still 14.5. Mariners, they've added one. So we're up 8-5, George, going to the bottom of the seventh. Mariners minus 3.5 run line, minus 2,000 money line. If you like the Angels in a miracle, made by the grace of God, they're plus 950, total 14.5. And the Dark Cloud special, now we're in the bottom of the sixth. The Giants and Marlins scoreless. Right now, we're looking at the Giants minus 210, total 2.5. I don't even sure we're going to get there, George. We should have bet it at 4.5. Football. Thanks, producer Jack. He's been in my ear, and he's telling me this Wisconsin-Western Michigan game is nuts. I'm watching the Stanford game because I have more money on it. I can't lie. And Jack's telling me that we got a stop by the Broncos and a turnover, and Wisconsin has taken the lead, and they hit the 2-point conversion. So we got 10:46 left in this game. Badgers 21, Western Michigan 14. Western Michigan still covering the 23-24. Right now, Wisconsin is laying 7.5. And the total in this game is 44.5. George, so anything with baseball live? We still got a few games left on the board. I almost have to bet on Miami now because the first two legs of I wish these other games were ahead because I don't know how the parlay is going to hit because I got Seattle Diamondbacks plus 1.5 Giants. But I have a bad feeling the Giants are going to screw us. A very bad feeling.
I'll tell you one thing. First off, this tennis match is going to go on to like in the middle of the night. It's midnight here. All right? They're only in the second set. They're going to be playing all damn night. 1:30, 2 o'clock? I wonder why they're so far behind.
I think they're in the third set now because he won the first two, right? So you got to let me double check this. Okay.
Oh, maybe they are. You're right. They're in the fourth set here. So it's going to go another.
Yeah. It's still going on all night. So what are we? We're heading to midnight.
1:30.
Oh, easy.
It didn't rain here at all today, so I know they didn't get a little rain delay. Anyway, the baseball, I mentioned the wild pitch scored the Dodgers run there. Ohtani just struck out. Seattle run scored on a swinging bunt. The runner on third base, so Rosarina scored pretty easily thanks to that. And, I'm not going to panic about the Giants yet. I'm annoyed, but I'm not going to panic about it. Once again, I am on the under, so the worst I can do is split here. I'd like to win, of course. But remember, the Marlins bullpen sucks. All right, they can give up. I know the Giants have no offense, and their offense is pretty terrible too, but they give up some runs here. So I'm not going to panic too much yet. I don't see any really great in-game opportunities in all of these. I'm not going to double down on the Giants. We're down to the over on the Dodger Diamondback game is down a run to 14.5. Yeah, I still kind of like the over there. You're still getting plus money. I'm certainly not taking the under. The under is minus 140. I'm not going that direction here. If you think the Diamondbacks can come back, plus 162. I mean, that's a pretty nice number for a team that's got 4 more at-bats here. So I kind of like that as well.
I'm actually going to take that advice.
Giants to win, minus 156. Oh, now it's what, the 164.
Yeah, that feels like, you know what? They kept it at 200. It feels like a bait line to me. It feels very, very
right.
We're falling. Yeah. Anyway, Stanford just turned over the ball deep inside their territory. That was a big, big mistake. 5:31 left, and they're still up 14-7, but a huge turnover for TCU. I'm going to do it, George. You convince me. I think when I'm looking at the board, the best value is the Diamondbacks at plus 160. So my live play, we leaned over in that game. Giants on my books 180. You're actually getting a better number than me for a change. So we'll see what happens there, George. We'll switch gears. I know in the next in the 12 o'clock hour, Brady Cannon will come on the show. I love his commercial, by the way, on the network. I thought he was running for president. I was like, I'm voting for Brady Cannon over.
It looks like he's
Kamala
the president in a
Trump.
bad movie, Cam, in a bad B movie.
Yes,
I'm Brady Cannon. We're being attacked by the Martians. Run for your lives, folks. The Martians are coming. That's what it looks like.
I'm Brady Cannon, and my platform includes legalized sports gambling in every county and state across. I'm honestly like. His posture is fantastic, by the way. I was looking at it, it's awesome. That is, I love that SportsGrid commercial. It's one of my favorites. No, it's amazing. Like every time I see it, it busts a gut. It's the best. So George, NFL right around the corner. We could still talk about that because I know we've talked about a lot about college, and we'll do it later on in the final hour as well. But early game on Thursday, interesting too. Kansas City with all their weapons from 3 to 2.5 in that game. Total 46.5. What do you think about that line movement? I know it's a revenge spot for Baltimore, but you can kind of say the Chiefs are being a little bit disrespected. Agree or disagree?
I still got 3, by the way, so it hasn't come down here.
Okay.
All right, we're still at 3. 46.5 is the total here. Listen, I got to tell you, Cam, I like the Ravens. I like the Ravens in this game. I'm going to take the points. I think it's a close game. I don't think it's a high-scoring game either. I think this is 24-20, 24-21, something like that, 23-17, somewhere around there. I don't think we'll see a lot of points in this game. So I'm not saying massive plays, but I'm going to have the Ravens and the under in this game. I think it's going to be a good football game. No Marquise Brown, right? We found that out earlier today. He's not going to play there. Not a big shock. He should be back for week 2, I think. And I have a funny feeling one of the reasons why he's not playing Thursday is that they can get 10 extra days to him to rest up and get that shoulder healed or whatever. The sternoclavicular. There you go. That the injury he has there. So, like I said, Kansas City's a great team, but yeah, you got the ring ceremony right there, raising the banner, whatever they do there. It's opening night and all that. So I think the Ravens might be the best team in the AFC. I think they are that good. Ravens under.
You know what, George? I'm just saying the line is interesting to the Ravens. I'll bet the Ravens as well. I'm still very upset about what happened in the playoffs. It was a huge play for me. It was one of the most disgusting performances, and I'll give Kansas City all the credit in the world. Like, their defense really stepped up in that game. I was just shocked. So many mistakes by Baltimore, tip balls, bad luck. I think they're going to come back as well. And the line tells you something, right? When they bring it from 3 to 2.5, you'll get some more Kansas City money. Not all people play money lines because they're worried about the juice. So at 3, but 2.5, I think they're going to get a lot of Chiefs action, and I will be on the Ravens as well. More with George. We'll go through a couple NFL games in the final hour. We'll talk to Brady Cannon, and George will meet Sean Higgs, Gabe's antagonizer. Higgs comes on the show. I think he's a Cowboys fan, George. Not sure. We'll find out after the break.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Carlos Alcaraz has won the last 2 Grand Slam titles at the French Open on the clay and at Wimbledon earlier this summer. He enters as the favorite.
You have a bunch of depth there. Francis Tiafoe, Ben Shelton. They will likely play in round 3. The winner would play Djokovic, most likely, which would be an incredible match. I like Ben Shelton as a sleeper. If Djokovic is hurt, you never know. I think Shelton's actually the guy that gets hot. The conditions favor him.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With 2 former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
Welcome back, everybody. Sports Rage Late Night with Cam and Kurtz. Morency in Vegas getting his contest win in, going to see some metal shows and doing a lot of partying. Hopefully he'll run into our boy, what is it, Tony Finn? What are the odds of Tony Finn showing up for the game? A big underdog, but I'm actually betting on Tony. It's been a very big dog day, and I think Tony He has been lost many times with us, but I'm betting on Tony. I think he's going to come through as a major underdog showing up to the stadium for USC LSU. George, baseball, still the same stuff we're dealing with. Oh my God, the Marlins took the lead. I told you it was a trap. Like, no one's listening here. 1-0 Marlins. I'm going to snap. I can't believe I put these guys in a parlay. Jack, I want you to do something too when I hear the dark cloud. Is there any way we can document this thing since it's been in existence when it's in the atmosphere? Because I have a feeling it has damaged many communities more than, lighting up communities. Yeah. He's like a tornado. It shouldn't be called like a black cloud. It's a straight up tornado, a hurricane. Like, it's not even a cloud. It's way more powerful than a dark cloud. It's just a disaster. It's a nor'easter.
That's what they call a bad storm
working at
here,
the
right?
Weather Network. Hey, everybody, my black cloud of the night. Yeah, you got him a gig at the Weather Network.
Anyway. You're all going to die.
Yes, that's how I feel like I'm that parlays. It's only 1-0, but I don't feel very good about it. So Marlins right now up 1-0, minus 160. If you like the Giants, you can get them at plus 130, George. And I'm not going to bite. I'm just going to stick with Arizona. Even now, they're more plus 230, so that could go down the tubes as well. But
first and second one out, they didn't score. They didn't come close to scoring here. Frustrating there. Dodgers brought in Kopech in the 6th inning. That was a little strange here. He got out of it. That man, Kopech, he's throwing 101, by the way. Guy throws hard. Didn't always know where it was going. He was throwing hard here. I don't know who in the Arizona line had a line drive, but right at the shortstop. Rostov would have scored. That could have gone up the gap there and scored some runs for us there. So not looking great for our over. Still on the Diamondbacks here. The unders are looking good, and the Seattle's looking good. It's just the wins aren't coming in.
Well,
Giants.
George, it's 11:56, so we didn't get into the midnight hour. Novak Djokovic, the 2 seed, is out. Popyrin, this kid, 28 seed. Alexei Popyrin, from the flag of that looks very Australian or New Zealandish. I got to see it's a cut on the ESPN graphic. I think it's that is New Zealand. So what do we got here? 6-4, 6-4, 2-6, 6-4. He takes out Djokovic in 4 sets. So we have the 1 seed Alcaraz out and the 2 seed Djokovic out. Wow. And Zverev, the 4 seed, is losing to Thomas Echeverry 6-5 in the first set. George, this is like in your backyard. This could be the craziest U.S. Open on the men's side. Like, usually, you knew back in the day, yeah, it's going to be Federer, it's going to be Djokovic, it's going to be Nadal. It was one of 3 guys every time. This is nuts. We have the top 2 seeds out who never lose, and now they're both out, and the 4 seed is struggling. It's early, but he's losing in the first set of his match to a guy that's not even ranked. So craziness happening right now. College football, TCU, they got a field goal in this game, so I thought they were going in for a touchdown. It's 14-10 Stanford. We are late in the second quarter. We were at the 2-minute warning. Stanford with the ball, almost in scoring position. Jack, how are we doing with that Western Michigan game? Are you and George watching that one? Because I'm watching the Stanford game. Any more madness?
21-14.
21-14. It looks like Wisconsin's going to punch one in again. So Western Michigan, the good news is they're probably going to cover, but they're going to be down 14 after that, and the old comeback looks like it might be short. Gabe brought up I'll give him credit. Like, he brought up good points. He talked about FCS schools having problems finishing games, and he talked about like teams from the MAC. Like, they come out guns a-blazing, things go well, but as the game progresses, you guys know, right, George? It's a battle. These other teams, bigger, tougher, they want to turn into a street fight, right? So the underdog will be good for a while. You punch you, whatever, and then one bad break happens. It happened last night in my Sacramento State game. Somebody was telling me who watched it. I didn't see the game, but it was a crazy punt block, whatever. It went the other way, and it totally changed the whole game. And this game, Wisconsin, they got a break. They got a turnover, and now they look like they're going in. I don't think they're going to cover the 23, but they're going to be going up 14. Hopefully Stanford can put some more points on the board for us right now, because we got these guys at +8. That would be fantastic. And Wetzel, I blame you if the Giants lose 1-0 down to Miami. We got the Dodgers up 6-5, and the Mariners and Angels in a track meet as well. They're up. Seattle's up 8-5 right now. So high-scoring games in 2 of the 3 in Major League Baseball. Coming up, third hour of the show, we got Brady Cannon, we got Higgs, we got everybody. Should be a lot of fun. Stick around.